Hi and welcome to Student Record Management System developed in Python. The main focus of this tutorial is all about printing. If I click on print, and this is what you guys will see, and there is printing, but I don't have my server connected to it, so I'm not actually printing out hard copy. So let me show you guys how the other part of this program works. Okay, now let's click on reset there and enter the new student details. Let's say the student is Felix and the surname of Felix is, let's say, Felix Closely. Address number 5 Tree Road, postcode 7, and student loan, telephone number there, and proof of ID, let's assume he's got a passport, and degree, let's say he's going for his doctorate degree, and is paying by visa, accommodation required, is an international student, and is a registration reference number, ULN number, and next of kin, let's say the next of kin is Grace Closely there. So all we just need to do is to click on receipt, and that will be published onto the database here there, although there's no database attached to this. So like I said earlier on, the main focus is on how to print, because I've already created something very similar on YouTube. So let me show you guys the printing device again. There, you can see printing now, no server connected. So what I'm going to do now is to take you guys straight into Python development environment, and we put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Welcome back to Python. The first thing I'd like to do is to import as follows, and the next thing will be for me to create my class. Okay, let's call the class student. There, that's my class. But one thing I'd like to point out, for you guys to be able to print, you must import the following: temporary file and the operating system as well. So this one is for the Tkinter library, and this is to do with component or widgets such as combo box and checkbox. That's for random number generator. I'm going to be using this for date and time, and this is for my message box. So let's continue. So the next thing is to define the following. So let's say define the initial, and that is going to be self comma root there, enter a column there. Next thing is I'm going to say self dot root, is that there, and change this to a dot. Self dot root equals root. That is the name of my app. Then the next thing is going to be self dot title equals, or let's just say title equals student. Student record systems, and followed by self dot geometry with the geometry. I will define the size of my screen, that's 1350 by 750 plus 0 plus 0, and that is supposed to be my coordinate. Okay, I'm going to define the following variables. So the first one is, I'm going to call it idate. Idate equals string variable, enter parentheses. Then let's say idate dot set time dot string time, and that is going to be house. That's percent divide percent again. That would be for the minute, and that would be for, okay, let's say year. That's supposed to be the date, month and year. So let's close that. Right. Okay, I'm going to define another variable that I'm going to be using. Let's say variable 1 equals string variable, and let's just speed that up. Right there, guys, those are all the variables that I intend to use for this program. They are all declared now. So before I continue, I might as well just round it all up here. Just come right down here. Let's save, and there. Let me move it down so that you guys can see it there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, let's save it first. Let's go to file, save as. I'm just going to call it system. Alright, just say YouTube there. Yeah, that's fine. Save. Okay, so we can just run it and you guys see what's has been put together so far. So let's run it. You won't see anything apart from a gray background. There we go. Alright, close that. Now let's start adding some widgets on board. Okay, what I would like to do first is, let me create my main frame. This frame will house all of the frames and the other widget that I intend to use for this very program. So this main frame is going to be housed inside self.root. It's a comma root there, and I'm just going to say mainframe.grid. That's it. There. Dot grid. That's it. Okay, that's my very first frame. The next frame I will create, I'm going to call the very first next frame, I'm going to call it, let's say top. It's going to be on top anyway. So that's where I will have my title. Okay, let's just say frame tops or tops, whatever. Tops and tops right here. And as for tops, let's get it packed. So the side is going to be equals to top, right? And it's going to be right inside mainframe. Is that inside mainframe? Okay. Next thing is, let's create a border for it. Let's say the border is around 10 and I would like it raised, so let's say leave equals rigid there, and that's it. So one thing that I can take care of now is going to be the label. Let's say self.lbl. I'm going to just call that title. LBL title equals label, and this label is right inside tops, frame tops. I'm going to make the width of that very label equals 30, comma, and the font that I intend to use, let's say equals area. Okay, that's fine. Area is alright. Area, that's the font, and the size of this font, I'm going to make that approximately 39. Okay, let's say 39, and bold as well. Close that. The text that I want in it is going to be text equals student record system. Okay, close that. That has to be, should be a speech mark there as well, comma. And let's get it justified. I'm going to say equals center. Yeah, and that's all there is to that. Let's close that. Now let's say set.title is going to be .grade. Okay, .grade. Yeah, that's it. And let's enter. Okay, padded. I'm going to make that about 150. Yeah. Okay, this is how it looks. Let's try this out now and see. We'll come up here. Let's run it. Yeah, there we go. All right, looking good. So let's come down here and just declare 2 more frames. There we go. Those are the 2 more frames that are declared, and they are all resident right inside the main frame as well. Look at it. Now let's run that and see how it's going to look like. This is how it looks right now. Okay, this is how it's looking. Alright, let's close that. And now the next thing I want to do is to start work with the widgets. So let's first of all, let me come down here and just add a broken line. Just say widget there. Right, there we go. Alright, my very first widget is going to be another label. This label will be known as student ID. Let me copy this one and just paste it right underneath here and change things around. So it's going to be LBL student ID. And let's change this to student ID as well. As for the student ID, is going to be inside a row. Let's say the row is going to be 0 and the column is going to be 0 as well. Wrong spelling. Equals 0, comma, let's say strictly equals west. Right, and we just need to change this to about 16. The text on it is going to be student ID. Let's add, let's say border, no, equals 7. And I think that would do for this very one. And it's going to be right inside member name. Yeah, copy this. It's going to be right here. Paste. Alright, let me just run this and see how it's going to look like. Alright, this should have an equal sign there. Run it again. There we go. Alright, that's good. So let's add a text box to it. I'm going to copy this and just paste text box. Let's try to move this up a little bit and change this to txt and another txt here. Okay, this txt, that's going to be enter. That's the name of the widget, and this very widget is right here, and the size of this widget. Okay, first thing, let's get rid of this. That's not required there. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this here. I just need this, and it's going to be about 13, and this will be, I'll call that variable, text variable, and that will be student ID. I've already declared that variable up there, student ID, and 7, that's fine. Okay, let me say comma, and let's say insert width. I'm going to make that about 2. What about the states, comma, state equals disabled, right? And the student ID is going to be on row 0, column 1. Let's get rid of this strictly west. So let's try this out and see how it's going to look like. There we go. Okay, if I did not say state equals disabled, you will see it in this form. Let's run it again. You see that. That's it. Okay, but I don't want you to be able to type directly on it, so I'm going to undo that there. So what I will now do is just to speed up the whole development of this widget, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay guys, this is how it looks like now. So you can see the very first one, the row is 0, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4. But there's one more thing I would like to take care of, but let's run it first and you guys see how it looks like there. And if you guys notice, look at this customer name. Okay, that is right here on my label frame. Instead of customer name, I'm going to change it to student name. Okay, if you don't want to create it as label frame, you can always leave it as a frame, but let me run it and you see what I'm talking about there. Okay, supposing we don't want it to be, we don't want a label, we can always change that to just an ordinary frame, and hopefully if I run it there shouldn't be any error because I've taken that off. Let's see. Oh, there's an error. Okay, so that means if I take all of these off now, just delete that there, and if I run it, it will be just an ordinary frame. There we go, you see that. So I'm going to undo what I've just done now. Let's go to edit and just undo that, and one more there. So it's now with a label. Okay, so if you guys want to have a go at that as well. Alright, now the next thing is, let's add a checkbox here underneath here. So I'm going to say self dot chk student loan. That's going to be the name of that very checkbox, student loan equals widget checkbox, and widget checkbox is going to be inside member name F as well there. The text content on widget text box is going to be student name, so copy that and just paste it right there with a comma here and change that to student loan. has the text content on it. Now that is done, what about the variable? Variable equals, I'm going to call that variable 4. If you guys can still recall all the variables that were declared here, that is it, 1 to 4, 1 to 6 actually. Now I'm using the 4th one. Now let's say the value is going to be equals 1, and that's the on value. The off value equals 0. Now let's go for the font. Now I'm going to make the font about 16. Copy that and paste it right there. Font is taken care of. The next thing is, let's just close that for now. Dot. No, that will be here. Dot. And let's run that up. Grade is going to be row equals 5, and column is, in this case, is going to be equals 0, comma, and strictly equals west. Close it. I also need some text content. I'm going to copy all of this and just paste it here and change it around. Let's move this in a little bit and change this to student loan. Student loan. Right. Okay, let's just carry out a few changes and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, this is how it looks now. So let's run it so that you guys see what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay, so I will now speed that up. This is the very first one. Let's enter something just to divide it, because I want 3 of those on board. So there's going to be another one here. Undo that. There. So let's copy all of this for the second part. Okay, then I'll just change it around. Copied, and let's paste it here and just change it around, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay, like I said earlier on, guys, I had to speed this up. This is the very first part that you guys saw. Now this is the second part, starting from here, but there's a difference now. Here I had to add a combo box. I've added 3 of those, and this is the first of the 3 combo box. So you guys have a good look at it. The very first combo box, the variable is called variable 1. This is the second combo box. So take a good look at it. You can always pause the video to copy the codes. So take it down so that you guys can see it. And this is the second one, the second combo box. Now right here is the third combo box. Let's move that up so that you can see it. Take it down some more. Right, that's the second part, on the second row, and the final row is right here, or the final column. It's not a row, column. Take it down. That one is very simple, but it's all about using labels and entering objects. So if I run it now, this is how it's gonna look like. There. Okay, so with that, I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.